Before before we get to the game, obviously, really challenging and difficult week for our program and the college basketball world, to be honest with you. But as we go through all this, I think at the forefront is making sure we all keep Coach Courtney's family in our prayers and in our thoughts. That's been a huge priority for us. Is doing anything we can for them. For those of you that knew BC, he had an incredible smile. He could light up a room. The guy never had a bad day. Kept everybody positive, upbeat, and a lot of people have said to me this week, man, BC was good friend, good, and it's the truth. Because everybody he came into contact with, he got to know personally. And in this new world of transactional recruiting and NIL and transfer portal, he was old school. He was going to build relationships, and he was just an incredible person. I personally have learned so much from him. He's one of my closest friends that I spoke to often. But I know the results haven't gone how we wanted this week, but I do know he'd be proud of how we competed and how hard we played. And again, it's my heart goes out to his family, and he spent so much time away from his family to help all these young men for 30 plus years of coaching. And I know the basketball community, our program, and many, many others will do anything we can for Coach Courtney, for his boys, for DJ, for Billy, for Gina, his mom, sisters. But again, really difficult time. I do want to thank the university. Temple has been amazing this week, and this is what makes it a special place. From the president, Arthur Johnson, you name it, the people that have reached out, have provided resources to us, Dr. Coakley. It has just been overwhelming to see the family, the community support here at Temple. Something that I know has really helped me get through this week. I love him. I know he's watching us, and we're gonna play the right way every night for him. Also, Memphis. I want to thank Memphis. I know we didn't do any interviews at Memphis, but to Dr. Scott and Penny Hardaway, they had a beautiful bouquet of flowers. They did a first class moment of silence there. I was really touched by their first classness at Memphis, so I appreciate them. But again, our thoughts and prayers are with his family, doing everything we can, and then at the same time making sure we're okay here, because this was his family too here in Philly. And to have him with me for the last 7 months, whatever it may be, I will forever cherish every day that he's been a part of the staff. And again, just want to continue the legacy and that passion of just being a good person, because that's what he was. He's just a great person that got to know people. As we switch gears, as you guys know, CJ Hines was dismissed from the team this week in light of new information that we received and we read on the indictment, just like everybody else read. CJ is a great young man. I had nothing but positive things to say about him in his time here. He's no longer a part of our program, and it's really the only thing I have to say on that. And it comes from a great family too, great people. And then also, AJ Smith will have season-ending surgery, so he'll be out for the rest of the season. With that, I'll take questions. Sean, I'll start with you, Sean.
Adam, was the 2 hours Wednesday night and the 2.5 hours out there today like sort of the respite for you, for the guys, from?
Yeah, we talked about it. I think, and it's really Bill's message that he said to me over and over. When you're on the court for practice, or you're in a film session, or you're in a game like that, it's like this fantasy land that we lock in, and the outside world just stops to us. We have no phones, we just lock in together. And I think, again, I should have mentioned this, but the team decided to play, and we gave them the option to play. They wanted to play because they thought that's what Bill would want, and I know that that's what Bill would want. His mom told me that's what he would have wanted. But I think it's, when the ball's tipped, something just happens, and you're focused on that. And then when that final buzzer sounds, it's like reality comes right back to you.
Is that easier, all of that considered, is that easier said than done when you're actually just trying to put together all the emotions of a really, really hard week? Like, how have you gotten through like these last several days, even just knowing that and hearing that?
Yeah, I think it's, John, it's a great credit to our locker room. Look, I've been emotional. These guys have probably seen me as raw as I can be, and they kept telling me, we got you, and then my worry is about them, and hey, we got you. So I think being together, BC was really close with my family. My wife has been fantastic, my daughter. I think it just shows the family atmosphere we try to build, and I think it's just that everybody just being there for each other, being there. There's moments that you don't think about. The other day at shoot around, him and I always get together at the exact same time at shoot around to talk about the first play of the game. We're at Memphis. I stood up looking for him. Right? It's just that, and it's not something that just stops. Right? It's something that we got to continue to be there for our players, be there for our staff. Our staff, really close knit group. They're very close with Coach. So I think it's like a family. And I think sometimes in the sports world, I used this analogy the other day when you're a little kid and you saw like your teacher at the grocery store. You're like, oh my gosh, I saw my teacher at the grocery store. Like, they go grocery, like, yeah, they're normal people. And I think sometimes in our world, right, we see these coaches on TV and all of us, and normal people too, and we're going through it. But having the strength of our players, our coaching staff, and like I said, the university, President Fry was amazing. Arthur Johnson has been absolutely incredible. So just being together.
Was he the automatic first call when you knew you had a spot in the spring?
Yeah. When I was going through the process of the Temple job, and you're interviewing for the Temple job, so back up. As you guys know, you're trying to figure out who's going to be the new coach, and they tell you don't talk about anything. I was talking to Bill every day. Hey man, I just interviewed at Temple. Hey man, he texted me, any word? What's going on? And the morning of their Elite Eight game, I called him and said, hey, I think it would really help if Coach Larinaga could call Arthur Johnson. He said, I got it. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. That was Bill. That's what he just an amazing person.
This really affects just Michael and Jimmy too. At the time that they just given the Miami ties. How are they doing?
Yeah, I think it's we're all trying to be there for everybody. So we're all going through it. We're all hurting. Michael's known him a long time. Jimmy was very close with him at Miami, and then very close here. But BC's like the ultimate connector. Like, you meet him one time and you feel like you've known him for 20 years, and you feel like he's known you for that way. So our staff is super close. But those two guys specifically are really, really close. And he does a great job with the players. He's had the players over his house for dinners and stuff. So it's it's just who he is. He always wanted to put others ahead of him.
Did you like Jordan's shot at Memphis last play the other night?
Yeah, look, I thought that was a really physical game in a really tough environment. We had looked to try to do something to go for the win. They did a really nice job of trying to take that away. but I was going for the three, we were going for the win. And you know, he had hit 2 pull-ups in that game already. So if it's not there, he's got to take a tough shot, and he's the kind of guy that can be the guy to take that shot, be okay, make or miss, and we believed in him and we loved him. You know, Tony Lockman was a great shot for him. You know, but I was just so proud of the effort and the energy and the togetherness of that team to be at Memphis on the road, you know, against a top 25 defense and be there with 1 possession to go at the end of the game.
For today's game, a lot of things probably went the way you wanted it to go in terms of shutting down some leading scorers and the foul trouble, and then Parker just got to you guys in the second half. Was that just him just taking advantage of opportunities? You guys losing them a couple times?
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, first off, FAU is a fantastic team. They're super talented. You know, they've won their last 2. Beat Wichita State by 20 plus. They beat Memphis by 15 plus. They're playing really good basketball. Super talented group of guards. They got tons of firepower. So we really tried to take away some of those and really try to take away the threes. It was a huge emphasis. You know, and a credit to them, right? They had 2 guys, Parker and Maxine, you know, scored 34 points, right? They I don't know exactly, but I believe they average 11 or 12. They're really good players. They have a lot of good players on their team. So we'll watch the film, try to clean that up. But yeah, those 2 guys were the difference tonight.
Is there an explanation? The replay showed Masai did get hit in the eye. Was it just not malicious, sort of accidental? I don't know if they explained.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's an incredible crew, right? Those guys have done probably Elite Eights. You know, I don't think they saw anything. Like I told them, they've looked at it probably 6 times. I haven't looked at it all, so whatever they tell me, I believe them. They got to really look at it. But no, that was a great referee group today.
Coach, off the court with these last 2 losses and everything going on outside of it, how's the team been able to stay together? Has it helped them grow together as a team?
Yeah, you know, we talk about it all the time, and it's, you know, we use the phrase 15 beats 5. You know, in men's basketball, we love 15 scholarships, so we'll stay with that phrase. I know we've had somebody off the team, but you know, we've been through some adversity on the court this year early, right? You struggle in Florida, right? And then we come back and we lose 2 tough Big 5 games, and then we took that adversity, we learned from it, and then we win 7 in a row, right? And now we've had 2. And I think these 2 teams are first place. I don't know if Memphis played today. Whoever won, right? So we know we can compete in this league with anybody, and we got to have that mentality. We got to learn from the film, you know. And in terms of the stuff off the court, I think it's just knowing, hey, you're not alone. There's a lot of people here that care about you, that you can count on.
Were there certain players who really kind of like, I know probably a collective unit, but were there certain players who really kind of just came to you and said, all right, we want to play, we want to keep pushing on for you? Certain players that kind of like took some leadership there in a really hard week for you?
Yeah, you know, it's a conversation you never want to have. So when we initially had it, there were several adults in the room. I thought it was probably overwhelming for the players. So I basically just said, hey, all the adults are leaving. We're all out of here. We'll be on the court. Take your time. You need an hour, you need 10 minutes, whatever you need. You call me when we come back in. We'll come back in with like 1 or 2 people. We don't need everybody. And you know, it was fairly quick. You know, my phone rang and it was switched. Said, "Come on back in, coach." And there was no hesitation. They just said, "Coach, we want to play." And I asked them why, and they said because that's what Coach Courtney wanted.
Was AJ's shoulder? I know Villanova was the last game he played in. It never looked like. Was that just bothering him?
He's had some past history of it, I think, at a previous institution, and tried to play through it at the next institution. But yeah, you know, they looked at it, and we tell him, just so we do anybody, like, hey, these are family decisions, right? Like, that's why it kind of took so long. I could be wrong. I don't even know the date. But I think we just got the surgery date yesterday. But I think it was something that was bothering him that he tried. There was a thought about potentially trying to rehab, so he tried that first, and it wasn't going the right way.
You know, I'm sorry, I got one thing with respect to CJ. You know, the NCAA did come to the Temple in November and said there's a potential issue. Is there, so at that point, you don't pursue any further conversation with him about what that could be, or?
It's a tricky one, right? You have conversations, and some of that I'm not privy to. Maybe there's some that there are. But there's a belief that, hey, I thought he was going to probably get cleared at some point based on the conversations I had, and that was the mindset when we found out. And then when we found out what we saw the other day, then we had to make another difficult decision this week.
If there is a way for you to kind of look at the last two games beyond how trying it's been, what do you assess in terms of like you see what positives and what you need to work on in these two game losing streak?
Yeah, you know, it's the most turnovers we've had in 2 games, so that's number one. You know, I forget the exact number. I just know it was not good. What did we shoot at Memphis? Was it like 2 for 19? Is that right? Like the way we had been shooting the basketball, you know, we want to be able to make open shots, and not just Gavin Griffiths, right? He's spectacular. But we need, you know, when other guys are making shots, it helps us spread the floor. So these last 2 games, you know, we haven't shot it well, you know, and that's kind of what I told the team at halftime. You know, we're shooting 27 and 23, and you're up 4, right? We had a bad minute to end the half there, but you know, we got a defend and rebound, and it got a little bit away from us in that second half. And again, great credit to FAU. They earned it and got some key rebounds, some key drives, and then, you know, I thought they hit those 2 timely threes. That were a big difference. But we got to keep working on taking care of the ball, and execute at keep executing at a high level, and then defend the way we've been defending, you know, even since St. Joe's.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.